Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with, well, the first installment in what I call the Parasitic Mahler cycle. Why is it parasitic? Well, it features the Jena Philharmonic under Simon Gaudenz, who actually is really a very good Mahler conductor. I have to say, they're exciting, fresh performances that I enjoyed quite a bit in the abstract. The reality is a little bit more complicated, but we'll get to that in a moment. This is Symphonies 4 and 5. But the parasitic aspect is that each of these symphonies, this is something that happens frequently in Germany, by the way. At least I've seen it there on record. Because remember when what's his name, Maris Janssens did his Beethoven cycle with, I think it was Bavarian Radio, and they had some modern horror attached to each symphony that was especially composed for each symphony. Well, that's what this is. They have a composer in residence. His name is Andrea Lorenzo, Scartazzini. And Mr. Scartazzini, however you want to say it, has composed pieces as preludes to each Mahler symphony. So that's the parasitical aspect, because he's kind of a musical remora. You know, that sucker fish that attaches itself to like bigger fish and thereby benefits by somehow scavenging around. Or actually, I looked them up on Wikipedia, and it turns out that remoras survive by eating their host's feces. But I couldn't draw a direct analogy between that and what's going on here. And I didn't even want to, because that's such an unappealing image, and I don't want to, cast aspersions on the poor man. I mean, he's doing his job. So we have Symphonies 4 and 5, and on 2 discs, and this is on the, let's see, what is it? The Odradek Records, whoever they are. And yes, they have a website, and you can look them up. It's made in the Czech Republic. Well, that doesn't mean anything. Lots of discs are there. Yes, Odradek. There we are. So let's talk about these things now. Symphony number 4. Well, Symphony number 4 is preceded by a piece called Incantesimo, which means, incantation. It's a soprano and orchestra, like the finale of the symphony. It doesn't quote any Mahler. He doesn't quote Mahler here, which is a good thing. I give him credit for that. It would be nice if he could come up with equally interesting material on his own, but, maybe that's asking too much. The soprano solo is based on an Eichendorff poem that's vaguely about the things that the finale of the Mahler is vaguely about. And it starts out very, very prettily and simply and in childlike harmony, simple diatonic harmony. And then it becomes a clogged up mess of clustery nastiness, and then subsides. And it only lasts 5 minutes and 27 seconds, thank God. Then we hear Mahler's 4th Symphony. It adds nothing to the experience of Mahler's 4th Symphony. I mean, who are we kidding? So the performance of the 4th is really a good one. Gaudenz follows Mahler's indications well. He has a good sense of the sonority Mahler wants. The problem is the orchestra. The Jena Philharmonic is a small provincial orchestra. There's a picture of them in here, actually. I think if we look at the booklet, I can show you the booklet. Yes, here it is. Here's the booklet. I should get my CD removal things, because this is, yeah, okay. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so here's the orchestra. There it is. I counted. They have 60 people. You can't do Mahler with 60 people. Even the 4th Symphony, which doesn't have trombones, presumably they brought in extras as necessary. I'm sure they did. It's not that they were trying in any way to get away with doing Mahler with chamber-like forces, but they just don't have enough strings. They have 5 double basses, and the sonics are rather dry, generally speaking. And even with the undernourished string sections, which cause real issues, you still don't hear important elements at climaxes. Like, for example, in the climax of the Adagio, the trumpets just don't shine forth the way they're supposed to. The horns are okay, but not fabulous. The solo woodwinds, they lack a little bit in character and personality. The development section of the first movement, they're just second rate. It's just what they are. I mean, they play well. They don't make obvious mistakes. I heard some moments where I thought maybe a contrapuntal line may have been missing, but maybe it was just that I didn't hear it. I don't need to go into the details in that level of detail. Let's put it that way. The soprano in the finale, Lina Johnson, who sings also in Incantesimo, she's quite good. She does a very, very good job with the final song. She sounds fresh and innocent. And like I said, in terms of tempo and proportion and whatnot, it's a very nice performance of the fourth. I would like to hear what Gaudenz can do in front of a major full-size ensemble. I think he really would be an exciting conductor to hear in Mahler, and without, the remoras attached to the symphony. This becomes a real problem in Symphony Number 5. Why is it a problem? Well, because some of these remore, or whatever these remoras, whatever the plural is, are designed to bleed into the symphony. And that's what happens here. In this case, we have a piece called Einklang, which means one sound. And it's based on a single chord that goes through overtone, dissonant, shifting permutations. And it's kind of like post-neo-ligeti, only not, if you get the point. And that's also, it's 5 minutes and 58 seconds. And as it's oozing down the drain, and sort of drifting off into oblivion, the Mahler Fifth begins, and it overlaps. And oh, that's that annoying. Oh my God. I mean, the opening of Mahler Fifth, Mahler took such pains over his openings. The openings of his symphonies, each one is different. Each one is special. This is one of the most iconic solo trumpet emerging out of nowhere. It's not supposed to be emerging out of Einklang. It just isn't. I got so pissed that they would do that. That is Regie Dirigent nonsense. It's sort of crap that you're painting your mustache on the Mona Lisa. I'm so tired of these Dadaist things. I'm sure they thought it was very clever. Maybe it was. Maybe if you heard it live, it was evocative. I don't know. I would have walked out probably. But anyway, so then they do the Mahler 5. Now, the Mahler 5, as you know, is one of the trickiest of all the Mahler symphonies to do. It's one of the most difficult. And this, again, is a very, very good performance. It has no power, though. The massed brass, they're just not there. The climax, those wailing climaxes in the Funeral March, or the big chorale at the end of the second movement. You can tell that he's trying not to cover the strings completely, but in not covering the strings, the other folks don't get to play out, and they have to. They have to. I mean, of course, there's no tam-tam at the climax of the second movement. The scherzo is quite zippy. It's 16 minutes and a bit. It's a quick performance. The solo horn is really not special sounding. He sounds weak. And the Adagietto, it goes at 8 minutes. It's one of those fast song-like performances, which I like very, very much. I think it's very beautiful at that speed. And the finale is good. It's really good. I mean, the finale often dies. This doesn't die. But again, that final peroration when everything's supposed to just explode, he times it well. I mean, this guy really knows how to conduct it. I give him full credit for that. But, it's the mind is willing, but the flesh is weak, or the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. I don't know, whatever it is, the flesh is weak. And so there's really nothing here. Ultimately, unless you want to hear the remora-like attachments to the Mahler symphonies that Mr. Scartazzini has come up with, and they're musically, nothing special, needless to say. So I will be following this cycle because it'll be fun to see what else they inflict on these symphonies and how this rather undernourished ensemble deals with the really big ones, like 2 and 3, which are coming next, I think. And I wish them well. It's a plucky ensemble, and it must be very nice if you live in Jena to go and see these concerts. and to hear your local orchestra do these things. But why, oh, why do they have to record them? What on earth is the point? I mean, with all that we have in Mahler, it's just not really needful. But you can make up your own mind. If you want to hear it, you could stream it, you could find it, give it a shot. Good luck. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.